E's upcoming project in development, Sam, is developed with the Cannes L'Atelier Cine Foundation, Venice Gap Financing Market, Locarno Open Doors Lab, where it won 2 major prizes, Southeast Asian Film Lab, Sorfond, Visions, Sud Est, Apost Lab, Full Circle Lab, and the prestigious Torino Film Lab, where the project won the Focal Resource Award. Oh, man. Whew. I ran out of breath.
And her film, Walang Kapares, is on Amazon.
Please welcome the incredible E del Mundo! All right, so this filmmaker, guess who it is? Spent nearly a decade at Marvel Studios as the senior visual development artist in the role. He played a key part in the design of some of the most iconic characters and costumes in Marvel Cinematic Universe, including Baby Groot, Okoye, Nakia, and Loki. He is currently the creative director at Dolphin Entertainment, developing original content and new stories for film, television, and games. Please welcome Anthony Francisco! All right, our lead for this event with our dear Lyndon Apostol, founder and producer of JAR Entertainment. Prior, she worked as a development production executive for film financing and production companies, where she oversaw the company's film slates. As a breast cancer survivor, she was honored and named Crucial Catch Captain by 2020 by the NFL, Los Angeles Rams, and Cedars-Sinai for their campaign to raise awareness to fight cancer. She was nominated as the Visionary of the Year 2022 by the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. Please welcome our dear director and film creative, Jennielyn Abrot. All right, this one's a big boss. Currently the development head of ABS-CBN Productions International Studios. She's got her start in Hollywood at Circle Confusion, The Walking Dead, American Ultra. She then became a literary manager for Writ Large, Shimmer Lake, The Act, where she developed material and represented writers, directors, and creators. Please welcome the incredible Lea W. Dizon! All right, guys, did we introduce Yong already? All right, guys, a round of applause too. Can I just read a little bit about Yong? Can I?
Yes.
All right, because Yong is fucking awesome, freaking awesome. Hollywood TV correspondent, producer of ABS-CBN and TFC, the Filipino channel, and the biggest global Filipino media company. She is this year's recipient of the International Media Award. Don't be embarrassed, Yong. Woo! An honor bestowed by Hollywood's biggest publicist organization, the ICG Publicist Award, held in March 2023, where she became its first Filipino winner. Please welcome the incredible Yong Chavez!
This is my worst nightmare. I'm very bad with receiving compliments. But maraming salamat and magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. It is such an honor to be here with all of you. I do a lot of this. I'm also the Golden Globes panel, a press conference moderator. And so I did a panel moderating in Cannes and other things, but this, by far, these kinds of things, ito yung talagang, you know, and I'm going to speak in Tagalog with all of you. You better dig into your Tagalog. Ito talaga yung tagos sa puso. These are the events that I really make time for, you know, whatever I'm doing, because this is very important. I started in the entertainment in covering the stories of these people about 15 years ago, when there was barely any representation for our community. We have here a scion from the Basco family. You know, Dante is one of our original trailblazers, and it was so difficult to get in the room, to get representation. But we are working at it. I'm so happy. It gives me goosebumps whenever I'm covering now, and I see so many kababayans on the carpet now when there was none before. I walk into the room with my head up high, knowing that each one of you is doing your best to raise the standard for our community, and you are killing it. So many of you. I have now that great problem of having too many stories. Where I'm running out of days to run stories and I cover for ABS-CBN, the Filipino channel, for TV Patrol and TFC. And so I'm so happy to see each one of you. And I'm also doing this thing, I'm moderating, even though this is, and Mark knows this, I'm not, moderating is something that I just wanted to do because I wanted to prove that someone like me, someone with congestive heart failure, someone who's a Filipina nanay, who has an accent, is able to represent us. So maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat. We are here to talk about the producers. I want to ask each one of you, what do you view as your biggest responsibility as a producer? Let me start with you, Pam.
Oh, the biggest responsibility, I think, number one, at least, producing films in the Philippines. Unlike here, we don't have any unions or guilds. So first and foremost is a human-centric approach in producing our films. But the reason we started Create Cinema, E and I, is because we want to create films that are different. By that I mean it's films that you haven't seen, and also proving that the Filipino talent is very much global, and our responsibility is to be able to show that to the world and that we can compete on the global scale. And our responsibility as a producer, I think, is also representing the Philippines, our country, and being able to showcase the talents of the Philippines. Yeah.
Thank you. And E, you know, in Cannes 2022, I was looking through the program of Cannes, and I saw, oh my God, this is Pinay. I saw the two of you there. Tell me, E, as a producer, what do you consider as your biggest task?
Can I speak Taglish?
Oo.
So, when we, honestly, it's beyond, in my head, it's beyond representation. Because I think there's a lot of our voices that are already trying to put, forth this voice of Filipino and then beyond. But I think us as producers, our greatest responsibility, and this is my own opinion, should be the content that we put out there. What are we saying? Is this good for mankind? And guys, when we churn out an output out there, it's gonna be there forever, and it's gonna reflect to how we understand our psyche now, how we understand the society now, and that will stay as an essay that we preserve forever. So we have to be careful because we can actually affect a lot of opinions. I'm not saying that we can change the lives and start this movement. I don't think there's a film yet that is that powerful except like Costa Brava Z and all these other social. Third cinema. I'm getting nerdy na. Pero yun, so I think it's more na, ano ba yung nilalabas natin? What are we sharing to the world? We have to be careful on what we are saying. As producers, that's why I'm very careful on what I make moving forward. Ito tayo, we are the ones that are generating the way people think. And it's like the way, we see Netflix content now, Amazon content now is so powerful. Dati, di ba, when we do stories, it's affecting because it's like a fireside chat. Nasa nakapalibot lang sa ano. Now, we are actually being affected directly right in our living room. Nako-consume natin yun. We consume the attitude, we consume the philosophy, we consume all these things na hindi ninyo naiisip. And that, for us as producers, yun ang responsibility sana natin. Yun po. Wow.
Awesome. Anthony. In your own production company, what do you feel is your biggest responsibility?
I think for me, my responsibility, I just want to tell really unique stories and stories that is genuine to my experiences like in the Philippines or in America. Plus, I really love like Filipino folklore stuff, so I want to be able to make sure we have a environment, a safe space, I guess, for creativity for Filipinos, and to not be ashamed of the kind of style we have, I guess, because it's not out there yet because some people are shy about it, I guess. And my time during my time at Marvel, I still remember trying to put in certain ideas, right? That's Filipino, but they don't know it's Filipino, but it looks cool. As long as they look cool, and then you find out, oh, it's a balita tree. It's like Baby Groot's a balita tree. So yeah, so stuff like that. So I wanted to take that idea and that kind of, because as an artist, especially the concept artist, we're very insecure, and I'm thinking that when I become a showrunner, or right now I'm showrunning this animated series, and I want to have that space, so I could have Filipinos be able to be creative.
And I love that the animators find a way to inject that. Like in Finding Nemo, we have the Bahay Kubo, right? Right there, because of the Pix noise, the Pixar animators. Jen, what is your biggest responsibility?
I think the biggest response, I agree with what they've said. I can't even top it because they've already said it. But representation, right? I was born and raised in the Philippines, and I grew up, like when I came here in America, we were just watching Married with Children and all the westernized films, and then when I pursued filmmaking, one of my dreams was always just to give more of our voice out there, and to show the world our culture, and as so that's a sort of that's always been a dream, and to represent us the way we're supposed to be represented, and not just rely on cliches. So breaking cliches, we're not all nurses. So I think
70% lang.
50% lang. but yes, and then so and for the next generation too, I think we have that responsibility, because what people see, people cannot dream to be if they don't see it on screen, right? So putting our faces out there more on screen and behind the screen is I think our responsibility as a producer, Filipino producer.
And Leah, tell me about your mission in your job.
So I work for ABS-CBN International Studios. So I want to backtrack. When I was in college at UP, mass communication, as gatekeepers, because producers are gatekeepers, right? We get to decide what stories will go forth, right? A professor of mine profoundly said, "In your hands will lie the power to shape public opinion." And that is a very big responsibility. And I took that to heart. And that is what I take to heart every time I post on social media, every time that I develop a story. What am I trying to say? What is this trying to say? What am I putting forth? What public opinion am I shaping because of this story that I'm doing? And this is what I bring even with the division that I'm helping at ABS-CBN. We want to tell human stories that have Filipino flavor, because we want to tell stories that appeal universally to everyone, and they just happen to be Filipino, because we think that this is the most effective way to reach everyone and to represent us, so that we can influence people to have acceptance, to be inclusive, to normalize us as people. When I first came to this country 16 years ago, I went to film school. A lot of my classmates, because I was the only Filipino, didn't even know exactly where the Philippines is, or I was the first Filipino they've met in real life in Los Angeles. How is that possible, right? So where is it exactly? Are you in the Pacific Islands, right? But now we've come a long way, and so I think that's what we bring when we do our jobs every day.
Thank you. Those are really great information.